Hey guys, Dib the Awesome here to give you yet another exciting, fun-filled Monster Legends content video. Today we're talking about the brand new permanently breedable legends in Monster Legends. That is right, you can permanently breed these. It's for everyone, free to play and or pay to win alike. Not that there is really is yeah. But in terms of this year's permanent breeding monsters, I am very impressed. These monsters are very good, and I'm just happy that they chose these particular monsters because I feel like these breedable monsters are pretty fair, and they're much appreciated given this new meta of stuff and just. You know, it's nice for free-to-play players to have access to these monsters, because they are really good monsters, too. People even used to spend money on these monsters in the times that they were really good. So, first off the bat is Cassia. Now, in my personal opinion, this is my least favorite one in terms of competitive use. I don't really like Cassia all that much. Really, the best thing about her is I do believe did she have, like, an extra turn cleanse? I think I think she just had like an extra turn cleanse. All of her like big support stuff are on not so good cooldowns, and I do believe her double damage. I don't know if I think they've changed this too. Back when she first came out, her double damage precision buff actually killed her. Like it was an actual concern. Like it wasn't a very reliable way of doing anything. I do believe there was a combo back in the day though with Timeron that worked wonders. But I don't think it's any good, competitively speaking. So, the combination for this is Scripples and Golden Core. Not a bad requirement. In fact, it's a fairly good one. It's not asking for much. I just don't think Cassia is all too useful. Like, it has the passive immune to stun, so it's good against it's a good anti-stun monster. But beyond that, I don't really see much use of it. It's kind of one of the more underwhelming monsters, in my opinion, in terms of what we got here. Shalonai, I'm surprised they even gave this as a free monster. This is a very old top-tier monster. Back when she first came out, she was a wonder god. She did things and then some. With her ability to apply fire weakness, and I do believe she had a double damage extra turn skill. She's very valuable. She's also immune to stun, if I'm not mistaken. She was a very good monster back in the day. Now, not so much, because there's, better things that last longer, and they just don't care what she does, but she's still a very strong damage dealer. I'd say out of all the damage dealers, she is probably the best one, due to the fact she can just outburst anything, apply fire weakness, and then win. She is a really nice damage dealer, and again, I'm surprised they even gave it for free. So if you need a damage dealer, work on this one first. It's just really good. Like, you can't go wrong with Shalonai. For Shalonai, you need Scorch Peg and the Duchess. I find this a little bit more annoying to get. I never found these monsters to be all too fun. Scorch Peg is fine, but Duchess is kind of a bother. It's hard to get Duchess. Duchess is kind of a rare epic. Will Razorface. Okay, this is one of my two favorite ones added to this list. I have two favorites. This is second place. Will Razorface. Really nice dark monster. This is due to the fact he has access to some of the best animations in the game. Like, he literally summons... he actually summons chests to kill people. Like, he just has them fall down on people. It's lovely. It's fantastic. So, beyond animations, though, why is he competitively good and, second favorite? Well, he's second favorite because he has two really strong AoE skills. One of them being an area stun, and the second being an area daze skill, which combos well with stun. It just does, because it's lower the accuracy, and then you apply the stun first, and then the accuracy. It's beautiful, it's fantastic, and it even counters everything else on this list that's not like Cassia or Deadwolf, or Shalonai, I guess. I think it's really nice. It's one of the two only deny options as well, though Chill Bill isn't really a deny. It has access to freeze, which is good against everything on this list except itself, obviously. So I find that to be pretty good. But again, Kill Bill is not a denier, but it has unique, deny that the other monsters don't, so that's pretty beneficial, if I do say so. But Will Razorface is just a good utility. He also has access to lifesteal, which can be very valuable. I just think it's a really good all-arounder, and it's a really nice monster, very impressive by design, stat-wise, and just utility. It's just nice. Is it the most busted dark monster? No. Is it one of the better ones in the game? Yes. And I'm glad they gave it for pretty much free. Like, you can just breed this now, and it's amazing. I'm actually going to work on this after I get done with my favorite monster in the game, fully ranked that. Clivia! I'm actually really happy to see this on here. I've always wanted to use Clivia. I never wanted to spend gems on it. And now that I have the access to it, I can actually get this without, like, spending, like, gems. It's pretty great. I can even max it out, so that's even better. So what does Clivia actually do? Clivia is actually low-key one of the best self-sustainers in the game. Why is this the case? Well, it has access to two things: nature weakness and nature-based lifesteal, which means you get more bang for your buck whenever you hit something with your lifesteal skills. And if you are running it as a tank, like let's say like rainbow build, like a damage, life, and speed, it just doesn't ever die as long as it doesn't get denied. It's beautiful. it's really dumb. Lifesteal, again, is only as good as you get, can take damage. I don't remember the life cap of Clivia. I don't think it was low, but I just remember it having really great lifesteal. Like, I also find this better than Alpha Clivia too, if I'm going to be honest, because, it's just a better long-term fighter. True, it doesn't deny, but in the same token, it gets lifesteal. Lifesteal's so good in this game. Very few things nowadays even get lifesteal. And this thing has it and does it in spades, so it's beautiful. I'd say work on Clivia too. In terms of, like, after Shalinar, I'd kind of say that it's the second best priority if you're low on damage dealers. It's really just dependent on what you have at the moment and what you need. I think Clivia is really nice. Like, it's a good long-term fighter. The only downside is it doesn't have a trait. I think it was like immune to poison, or like immune to, was it immune to insta-death? I don't know. It just doesn't have a trait, so you have to pair it up with War Masters to even consider using it. Like a Thalasha, or a Necromancer, or a Gortok. Whatever the situation calls for, just run the appropriate one, and you're good to go. Really just to counterplay whatever deny they're using, and then you can use it freely. And now we get to Best Boy. This is my favorite breedable of this permanent breedable list, and that is Ukaduma. My boy is the Beam Mage, the god himself, the king of magicians. Dark Magician has nothing on this Beam Mage. Ukaduma. Ukaduma is my favorite battle mage monster. Now, if you remember, a long time ago, there was a battle mage's maze, and they had quite a few interesting new characters, one of them being Ukaduma. They later released another battle mage, like a bird. No, not a bird. They had Telekuhu. They had this, and then they had, aka the Beyblade. I forgot her name. I just call her Beyblade. But I can't remember her name, but it was like a dance mage. It was dope. All of them were lovely. I love battle mage. I love the battle mage maze, and Ukaduma was my favorite one. Ukaduma is a very, very underrated champion of the support background. A lot of people like to overlook just how useful Ukaduma is. I gotta say, out of all the monsters, if you need a support right now in terms of the competitive scene, look no further. Ukaduma does everything you could ever want it to. It's a really, 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 really good support. You should really take in consideration just how good it is. What does it actually do? Why am I emphasizing why this thing is so good? It's good for quite a few reasons. One, it's a very consistent cleanser. This is because it has two area cleanses, one being on a 1-turn cooldown and one having no cooldown. It's spammable. The spammable one removes all negative effects and gives you stamina back. That's right, folks. If you're running this with a Thalassa or really anything that increases your stamina cap for whatever reason, if you're running team stamina, it amplifies the recovery, which is a big deal. It's such a big deal. It's like a spammable stamina refill along with a cleanse. You have no idea how good that is. That, and given the opportunity of it having a amulet as an optional relic, you can pretty much give Ukaduma stamina back, and then do the area stamina refill cleanse, and then you get stamina on everyone. It's lovely. It's fantastic. Obviously, the ratings are low if they're not running stamina runes, but, it's still a nice thing. You might be even running a monster that has, a really good utility skill at low stamina cost, so that's just something to consider. But the huge reason why this is so good, because of the other area skill. The other area skill is the 1-turn cooldown skill. What does it do? It does area cleanse plus a damage boost plus a precision. So not only are you more likely to land your skills and effects, you also do a little bit more damage. Now, in terms of damage boosts, it's not perfect, right? It's not really like you much prefer the double damage or triple damage to clean up games quicker. But the problem is nowadays, ending the game turn 1 isn't as too much of a thing. You just don't auto-win as you used to anymore in this current meta of the game. So things that last longer and or get reapplied faster are more valuable. Which means Ukaduma's buff has just been growing in value ever since it came out. Like, it is a really consistently good buffer. Yeah, I like to consider him like a bartender, right? He gives you everything you needed in the moment plus a little extra. Not necessarily the most busted stuff in terms of the extra stuff, but it's what you essentially need. It gives you everything you could want and then some. It cleans your effects, so anything that constantly needs to have effects applied to, if you can constantly remove those, they don't really do anyone any good. There's a lot of blinders in this game too, so it being able to cleanse the blinds, if it is going before your damage dealer, is fairly helpful. It's always a nice kind of go-to option. You do a little bit more damage and you're guaranteed to land your attacks, which is very important in this game. So it is a really nice free-to-play support. Other stuff that it does is it has really nice base stats. A lot of people think, oh, all the base stats are probably garbage on this, right? They're not very good. Well, they're actually pretty balanced. The stats are really good. In fact, it even has the gospel power and moves that can take advantage of gospel power. And if you're running let's say you're running a Pierce monster, like the new Pierce monster that applies weaknesses to everything, you can add on to its damage, while also again providing its natural supporting capabilities, just to keep everyone healthy and DOT free. Beautiful, fantastic. It also holds a single target cleanse. So single target cleanse have become more valuable since of area dodge monsters, which is really nice. It has a 65 damage skill at a 1-turn cooldown, I believe. Very fantastic. I think it's called power drain. It can take advantage of it. It does hold 465, 3,465, the gospel power, at least the minimum power of any damage capability monster. If you wanted to do any form of damage, it has to be at least 465. This has always been the rule of thumb with this game. It's not necessarily strong as of nowadays, but it's just a rule of thumb. This is how much damage it does. But yeah, I do believe Ukaduma is a really good steal of this new form of breeding event. Or not event, just the permanent breeding options. I really think it's good. If you're looking for a really good support, this is the steal. Get this monster. It's really, really, really nice. It's also immune to possession, so it's an anti-possessor. So that's also a good thing on top of that. So you always can kind of guarantee your attacker goes before, you don't have to worry about possessions because you can always cleanse the possession. Unless it's a corruption, you can't cover that. In fact, Ukaduma gets affected at that point. But as long as it's a regular possessor, the regular possessor can't do anything. The possessors can't do much if Ukaduma's up because he'll constantly clean possession. It's beautiful. It's fantastic. Get this monster. It's a steal. Chill Bill is a really nice water damage dealer. There's been far and few water damage dealers in the game. It's because most of the category is just deniers like stamina drainers and freezers. This is one of the few monsters that focuses on damage dealing than anything else. I don't know how good this is compared to Blob, because Blob can, stamina drain. Blob wasn't part of the past permanent breedable lineup, but it was a thing that they put into the game after a race. I believe it was the Flameron race, and then whoever did good in that got to choose one of 3 things, and they chose that Blob would be a permanent breedable monster. I don't know how good this is compared to Blob, because Chill Bill is slower than Blob, so if you are running a faster Blob, you can always stamina drain Chill Bill. But it's still a good damage dealer. I'm not saying it's in terms of damage output, he does more than Blob. Blob it wasn't meant to do damage. He just drains, stamina. He's focusing on resources rather than heavy damage. Chill Bill just goes all in on damage. It's really nice. I think it's a good check to Shalinar, just simply because, again, 75. I think it had a 70 or 75 water-based skill. which is really strong. It's hard. So it'll kill a fire monster pretty nicely if you are running appropriate runes in the situation where they're not running like a fire tank. It'll OHKO it. It's a really strong water damage dealer. I think this is pretty impressive. I think everyone's always liked Chill Bill too because it always reminded of the main protagonist of Surf's Up. So that's pretty cool. Jakugan was the first dual breed monster. Dual breed monsters were a series of monsters where it took two different monsters and put them together. This was a mixture of Jabeline and Haku, if I'm not mistaken, which is pretty cool. Now, Jakugan, while it doesn't have a trait, really, it's immune to, like, magnetism. It's really bad. It has access to really nice spammable skills. It has a spammable dark skill, and it has, like, a really strong metal-based skill, if I'm not mistaken. Really nice, really nice coverage. It gets a unique damage skill, and it's, like, really cool. I don't think it's that bad. Though I don't know if I would really prioritize on it because I think all the other stuff is genuinely better because they have traits and this one doesn't. I think that's what the only thing that holds this thing back is the fact it doesn't have really a trait to really kind of support itself or just like prolonged gameplay. Unlike Clivia, Jakugan doesn't really have any way to prolong her gameplay if she takes heavy damage. Like once her damage, like if you don't have like a healer, it can be bothersome, It doesn't really help you too much if it dies on you. I don't think this is a bad breedable monster. In fact, I think the next breedable monster is horrible. But I'd say it's a decent choice. If you love Jakugan, if you're asking, hey, Dib, is this an appropriate competitive monster? I'd say it's appropriate. It's not necessarily bad, not necessarily good either, but it's whatever. It's an alright monster. I don't think it's bad. To say it's like complete trash isn't too good of an answer. I want to say it's trash. I think it's really, really nice. In fact, it even covers dark monsters. Not dark monsters, earth monsters. It can kill light and earth monsters, which are very valuable targets to kill in this game. And for it to just sleep over them is really lovely. I want to say, I don't think Jakugan is bad. It's a really decent breedable legend that everyone will probably enjoy using. Dead Wolf. Dead Wolf is absolute garbage. It's a worst Osteo class. Why do I think it's a worst Osteo class? Even though it has like a really high base, 70 or, I think it was like 70 or 75 earth-based damage skill. Well, that's the thing. Everything he does is just, that's the best thing about him. He doesn't have anything to amplify his damage, really, and everything else about his skills are kind of terrible. Like, he's got like a 50 stun skill. It's trash. It doesn't do much of anything. Like, I don't like this thing. It's good against anything that's not Earth-based, but a lot of the time people like running Coral Brutalis, which is the reason why people stopped using Buratagor, which was an even better damage dealer than Dead Wolf. I don't see any point of using, like, breeding Dead Wolf. If you like the monster, by all means do. I don't, like, if you guys are watching this list right now, and there's a monster I'd say it's like, it's not that good, or, it's not the best thing to do, hey, do it anyway. You love the monster. I approve, like, doing things that you'll love. If you love something, this is a game that at the end of the day, so if you like a specific monster and you want to breed a max out, hey, you do that, my boys and gals. You enjoy that. You do that. It would be really good. But I just don't think Dead Wolf is worth your time at all. Competitively speaking, I don't think it's a monster worth ranking up. Like, getting a lot of copies of it. I just don't think it's that good. I think Osteo class is 10,000 times better. It's basically it came before Osteo class, but Osteo class was essentially a better Dead Wolf back in the day. It just doesn't do much anymore. But that's just, again, my personal opinion. If you like Dead Wolf, hey, it's breedable now. Do it. Breed it. Enjoy it. Have fun with it. Send me a Snapchat picture on Discord. Max it out. Follow your dreams. The last monster on this list is Malier, a huge fan favorite amongst old-time Monster Legends community. This is a monster that's never really done anything wrong. In fact, a lot of people loved using this back in the day. Why? Because all of its cooldowns were low. It was a really great answer to Timuron, too. Very few monsters ever posed a real threat to Timuron more than this thing back in the day. This thing has really low cooldowns plus lifesteal, and it was just a really, really huge eyesore for the robot. Again, because it doesn't really rely too much on cooldowns. It's got really low cooldowns. And all of its damage is mostly magic based, And it does a lot of random effects too. That's another bonus with Malier. Malier also did random effects, like random DOTs. And it was really lovely. It applied like bleed plus... It always had these like this plus another thing kind of deal to it. So I always thought that was pretty good. It has lifesteal plus an effect, like a DOT. It has all this other stuff, random DOT, and it's really nice. I think it's a very balanced pick too. I think along with Jakugan, this is also a pretty balanced damage dealer. If anything, it's a better one because it's also immune to possession. It actually has an immunity. So I'd say in terms of prioritizing, if you would say, hey Deb, what should I prioritize more, Jakugan or Malier? You know, Malier is a pretty solid choice because let's say you're in a terrible situation and, you know, if it's just you versus a possessor, hey, you're more than likely to win the fight if you're running Malier than you are Jakugan. Jakugan's just going to get bullied and possessed all day. Well, this thing is immune to possession, so it doesn't really care too much about it. So that's a plus. Again, overall, I'm very impressed with the permanent breeding monsters that this, I know, actually just out this year. I've used quite a few of these monsters in the past too, like Ukaduma again, and Will Razorface. I have really do enjoy using these things. And I actually have everything but Clivia on this list. I actually own everything except Clivia. So in terms of my personal, you know, analysis on each of these monsters or opinions, it comes from personal experience using them. But yeah, that's it for this video. I'm Dib the Awesome, and I'll catch you guys later.